Good morning, all my dear students. A very happy Diwali to all of you. So, light a lamp in your house and make this a celebration. So, today's day is very much special for all of you. As I said, I am going to revise the first 11 chapters. So, let's continue. Half of the portions are done. So we need to revise so that we can prepare well for the exams. You will be having term 1 exam, term 2 exams. So we also will be discussing about the question paper in the later videos. Now I will be reading out the points, important points from each chapter. Listen carefully. And we have covered 11 chapters. The chapter names are Super Senses, a snake charmer story, from tasting to digesting, mangoes round the ear, seeds and seeds, every drop counts, experiments with water, a treat for mosquitoes, up you go, walls tell stories, and Sunida in space. These are the first 11th chapters in 5th grade science. So what we have learned from these chapters? First chapter is super senses. This chapter describes about our 5 senses, and this chapter also describes about how different animals perceive the environment senses. They all have very sharp and strong senses. They can hear, smell, taste, touch, etc. So it highlights how different animals have developed unique and powerful senses, such as exceptional hearing, vision, or smell, to help them find food, detect danger, and communicate. So we have seen eagles, vultures, cats, dogs, how they behave in different environment. They have very sharp senses. They can hear the lightest of sound. They can hear the farthest ones. So they are much more. They have much more strong senses compared to human beings, and that's all that we learn from the chapter Super Senses. Next, snake charmer story. In that we learned about how the traditional practice of snake charming and the unique relationship between snake charmers and their snakes. So this chapter explores how snake charmers handle and care for snakes, and it highlights the cultural significance of their work. So this chapter is a story of snake charmer and their relationship between snakes. Snakes are very powerful. Their bites are very poisonous. So they are considered as god in some religions. We have seen them. They are being worshipped. In Lord Shiva, we can see snakes. So snakes is a symbol of spirituality. And then next is chapter 3, from tasting to digestion. In this chapter we learn about our body. We learn about our tongue is a muscular organ that is present in our mouth, and how we learned about how the food gets digested. Food travels down the esophagus. Esophagus is a food pipe that you will be learning in the higher classes. So and in from the stomach the food mixes with digestive juices and it is further broken down, and the remaining waste travels to large intestine where water is removed. The nutrients get absorbed from the large intestine and the waste will be excreted out. This process is called excretion. So this will you will learn in higher classes. So that is a important point that we can learn from tasting to digestion. And we also learned about there are taste buds that are present in our tongue. That why are they present? They are present because they allow us to detect sweet, salty, and sour and bitter flavors. And in the food in the stomach, the food mixes with the digestive juices. It is present in our stomach, so that helps in the digestion and it is further broken down. So these are the important points that we learn from chapter 3. Moving on to chapter 4, that is mangoes round the year. From this chapter, we have learned about different types of food and how they are preserved. For example, milk can be stored for 2 days maximum, and raw rice can be preserved for a longer period. Like that, when we visit a supermarket, we see different types of packaged foods, right? In that, we can see that this is an example of preservation of foods. Different types of foods are preserved in different packages, and they are conserved so that they do not get decayed by microorganisms. What happens when food gets decayed? They gets decomposed and they does not become fit for consumption. So we must not eat stale food. We must eat only the freshest food available in nature, and never eat spoiled food, as microorganisms that grow on it will start decomposing the food and it becomes unhealthy and harmful for our body. So this is what we learned from chapter 4, mangoes round the year. And chapter 5, seeds and seeds. From the title itself, we can understand that this will be all about seeds. There are many different kinds of seeds that we can find in our nature, such as mango seed. Banana, there are seeds that are very very tiny, and in apple we can see seeds. Watermelon, there are seeds, and some seeds are very lightweighted. So there are many different properties of seeds that we have discussed, and they grew into saplings when we provide the right conditions for them to grow. So we also discussed about the several activities that can be done at home, like planting seeds. Have you learned about compost making in lower classes? That will be about turning the organic waste matter into manure. That will be very beneficial for the trees and their growth. So we learned about plants, how they grow in different conditions. That's all in the chapter 5, seeds and seeds. Next, chapter 6, every drop counts. From the title we can understand that this chapter is about the importance of saving water. Water is a precious natural resource, so we have to take small steps at home to conserve water, because there are many villages where water is not at all available. People suffer there, they live a hard life. So we must understand the importance of saving water. Every drop counts. From home itself we can take small steps to conserve and preserve water, like storing rainwater in buckets and closing the tap, etc. And that's all from chapter 6. Moving on to chapter 7, experiments with water. This is an interesting chapter where we can find many experiments that can be done with water. Have you seen honey? When you tilt the bottle of a honey, you can see that it flows very slowly, but when you tilt the bottle of water flows very fast compared to honey. This is because honey is having a much higher density, viscosity. This you will be learning in higher chapters. So why this happens is because honey is much more thicker and it does not have that much lightweight as compared to water. That's why there's a difference in their speeds. So these are some properties. And you have heard about surface tension. When you place a pin or a lightweighted object on the surface of water, it will float. Like paper will float on water, like lightweighted pins or small objects can float on water. This is a property of surface tension. And have you seen water droplets in lotus leaf? They become spherical in shape. Okay, this is also an example of surface tension. These are interesting activities that can be done at home. You can experiment yourself with water, and when you there's an activity that when you add salt, the lemon floats in salt water. This is also an experiment that you can do. Try this at home today itself. So next chapter, moving on to next chapter, that is a treat for mosquitoes. This chapter discusses the importance of hygiene and health practices. We have seen that we have learned from this chapter that mosquitoes and houseflies, um, they spread the diseases like malaria, etc. So we learned about what how much they are causing harmful to the human beings. So we need to take some precautions to prevent these infectious diseases from spreading. We also learned about what are the symptoms of malaria. They normally occur 10 to 30 days after a person has been infected. So then we learned about what blood test. What is a blood test? A blood test is the test that counts different types of blood cells or measure the number of chemicals in the blood. From the blood test, we can understand if the person is suffering from any kinds of diseases. So these are very important points that you need to remember, so that it will be asked in the question paper, so you have to answer them. There will be short questions and fill in the blanks, true or false, short type answer and long type answer. You have to answer them in your own words. If you make a habit of reading the books thoroughly, you will be able to answer them properly. Okay, so that's all we learned from the chapter A Treat for Mosquitoes. Children, you will also be learning about what other diseases are related to blood that are not caused by mosquitoes. Although mosquito is a small bug, it has the potential to kill a person. Furthermore, it can spread severe infections like malaria and dengue fever, which can lead to death. So these are very serious diseases. Read this chapter, it's very important. Next we go Up You Go. Next is the 9th chapter, Up You Go. This is all about moral values that we must have. What is a group leader? A group leader has many responsibilities. We have seen our class monitors, how they write the names of talkative people. So these are the responsibilities that a group leader will be having. He or she have to take care of each individual in the group. Like that, we have seen many leaders in our society also. So what are moral values? They include kindness, gratitude, care, helping others, etc. Okay, so if there comes a difficult situation, we must stand together and help each other. So in this chapter, we also read about the stories of different people and how they face different situations in life. This chapter teaches us how difficult it is to climb a mountain. We saw that in the chapter. We read the story of some people and by heart their names, because they will be asked in the question paper. Okay, so remember their names. They were climbing the mountain. It also describes various experiences of the climbers and the hardships they have to undergo. Our fear of certain things goes away when we do adventurous things with proper guidance and support. This is the moral that we can find from this chapter. Next chapter, Walls Tell Stories, chapter 10. From this chapter, have you ever observed walls in your room? From your room, we can observe we have placed clocks in our walls. There are photographs and some drawings. We place calendars in our walls. So we use walls for many other purposes. Walls tell stories. From this, we learn about how ancient people used walls. This chapter describes about the Golconda Fort, Agra Fort, etc. These are all ancient buildings that are present. Still, we can see them, and we also learned about museum. A museum is a place where we keep ancient objects, old books, old things, objects, etc., so that we can understand how different people lived in different conditions. uh, we know that now our life has changed so much, that our technology has grown, electricity has come in our homes. Those people living in the old age, they did not have this much technologies. Now life has become much more improved, and we can notice this difference from this chapter. So that's all about chapter Walls Tell Stories. Moving on to the next chapter is Sunitha in Space. Sunitha Williams is an American astronaut of Indian origin who is known for her remarkable achievements in space exploration. She is a person who traveled in space. The space journey is a very difficult journey, just like the mountain climbing that we saw in this chapter, in the previous chapter. Like that, in the same way, going to space is also very difficult, because there the atmospheric conditions will be much different compared to Earth, and there will be no gravity. The objects will be floating all over, and even if you drink water, water will be also floating, and even our body becomes lightweighted. And these are some of the things that will happen in when we go to space. We can also see some of the videos where people go to space and they face zero gravity, etc., like that. So it is very challenging and a very much hard task for people to go to space. So this chapter describes the story of how Sunitha Williams went to space. She spent a total of 322 days in space over 2 missions, setting record for the longest space flight by a woman at the time. Sunitha performed several spacewalks and conducted important scientific experiments during her time in space. Her experiences in space help us understand the challenges of living and working in a zero gravity environment. Sunitha Williams inspires young students to explore science and dream big. So, we have reached the end of chapter 11, Sunitha in Space. So, these are the summary of the first 11 chapters. Read all the chapters thoroughly, and okay, as I say, always make proper short notes so that you can revise that during your exams. And there are important points and important names written in the chapter, so you need to keep that in mind before you write the exam. So be prepared well. Up next, I will be uploading the next chapter soon, so wait for that. Now we have remaining of the 22 chapters, so I'll be uploading each week one by one. So stay tuned. Thank you all. Bye.